We're joined now by former Vice President and presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden. Good to see you, sir. And look, Arizona is very much in play in 2020, so we appreciate you taking some time to talk to the people of our state.
Oh, it's an important city. You guys are going through hell right now, aren't you?
We really are with the pandemic.
It's a shame. You're breaking up a little bit. I hope you can hear me clearly. But
we've got you loud and clear.
Okay.
Mr. Biden, sometimes in a presidential election, people vote for the candidate, sometimes they vote for the party, and sometimes they vote for change. As you look back on it, what do you think happened in 2016?
Well, in 2016, I think what people saw was a very successful effort on the part of the Republicans and Donald Trump to make Hillary Clinton the issue. And I think there was a fair amount of fact that they were able to do a lot because they picked on her for being a woman. I thought it was a little unfair. But, and I think that we're going through a transition that people were trying to figure out where we go next. And, but 2018, when we focused on the things we cared deeply about and focused on what we wanted to do as Democrats, we won back the House and had a good off year. I'm feeling good about this year.
If we go under the assumption, sir, that the president's base is still loyal, the group that will be up for grabs will be the undecided voters. What do you say to emerge from the noise? What do you say to those undecideds or disenfranchised Republicans?
Well, first of all, his base is about in the 30s. There's an awful lot of folks who are disenchanted. A number of independents who voted for him before and Democrats who voted for him are really disenchanted. He said he was going to fight for the forgotten man. As soon as he got elected, he forgot the forgotten man. He talked about building infrastructure and creating jobs. This is all before the virus, and he didn't do any of that. And he focused mostly on the stock market and on the heavy hitters. And his measure of success is whether or not the Dow Jones is up. Yet you had over 50% of the American people believing that their kids would never have a standard of living that they had. This was before COVID. And then the way he so badly mishandled the COVID virus has been an absolute disaster. And so I think people are looking for what next. We have to build back, but we have to build back better than we were before. Yeah, and I think that's the key here. And But I don't know if that answers your question about what caused them to vote for him in the first place.
A lot of parents, Mr. Biden, are very concerned over the issue of whether or not to send their kids back to school in the fall. I understand that. I'm sure you do. The president and his education secretary are threatening to cut off funding if states don't reopen schools. Where do you stand on that and America's overall pandemic response?
The overall pandemic response has been a disaster. The president has taken no responsibility, indicated that it was all going to go away, that it was going to go away like overnight. He talked about that we're going to have to just get back to work. Everything's going to be fine. To solve the job crisis, we have to solve the public health crisis. To get our economy on track, first we have to get the virus under control. And he's taken no responsibility. 135,000 lives lost. 20 million people nearly 20 million out of work, only getting worse. The surge that's been especially felt in Arizona is devastating, but we have a president who won't face reality in order to take any leadership, and it continues to cost American lives and wreak havoc on the economy. Look, I laid out 3 comprehensive plans since March on how to get the pandemic under control and effectively reopen the economy. Wear your mask, keep social distancing, testing and tracing. And the federal government should be in helping state and local governments who have balanced budgets. When I did the Recovery Act when we had the worst economic recession since the Great Depression with the financial collapse. We got $84 billion out the door with less than 0.2% waste or fraud. And it was the money going to local governments and the state governments allowed first responders, teachers, police officers, firefighters, all to be able to stay and work and be engaged. And this president, I've told the president, I laid out all this, gave it to the president, we talked. I wish he'd used some of it, but he's basically not done it. And then comes recovery. I believe we have an opportunity not only to climb out of this awful hole, but to start building back better the kind of economy we need for the future, which includes the plans I released today that experts point out will create millions of jobs while we're building our roads, bridges, are developing clean energy economy, addressing the climate crisis. But the biggest thing is it's going to put people back to work and grow the economy. But he doesn't seem to want to have any part of it. Remember, he said, I want governors to thank me. It's not my responsibility. It's their responsibility. Mr. President, be president. Be president.
Where are you at, sir, on your decision on a vice president?
We're getting closer.
Make some news.
What's
you can
happening
name
is
your vice president today.
the background checks that have been done are coming to a conclusion within the next week to 10 days. And we're going to go through all of that, interview, narrow down the list, and then interview those folks that are left on the list. The first thing I want to make sure is I have somebody, and I think they all are, capable of being president of the United States if something happens, number one. But number two, who shares the same value set I have and is going to be an ally in making sure that we get things done. The only thing I know a little bit about is being vice president, and I think, if you know, most scholars who've written on the presidency and the vice presidency point out that we're no closer president and vice president than Barack Obama and me, because we share the same philosophy. And we could argue like hell with each other in private and profit from the disagreements we had, and then get things done. So that's what I'm looking for.
You've said
Mark, this will be
that you regret
okay?
not running in 2016. It was understandable considering what you had been through with losing Beau, your son. But time waits for no one. Is there any part of you that worries that your moment has passed, the momentum's gone?
No, I think, quite frankly, to be very blunt about it, it's the opposite. Maybe this is the moment, because there's two things. Look, if every president, if the perfect president has 10 attributes, I don't know any that have more than 5, maybe 6. But here's the deal. The fact is, the two that are most needed now are in my wheelhouse. One, I have a significant experience dealing with foreign policy, and the world, this president's left us weaker and in disarray right now internationally. I've known every major world leader since in the last 35 years. I think I can help put things back together. Day one, if I win, I'm going to be on the phone talking to our NATO allies, say, we're back. We're back. You can count on us again. Excuse me. And domestically, I'm winning now. We have to bring the nation together. And I have a pretty good track record of bringing Democrats and Republicans together in the United States Congress to get things done. And I think those two things are the things that are badly needed right now. One, restore the soul of this country. Two, rebuild the backbone of the country, the middle class, and bring everybody along this time. And thirdly, unite the country. And so I think that's why everybody was so surprised that I won the nomination and got all the support from those who were running initially. And they're acting very surprised that we're ahead in the polls right now. I just think it's a matter of look, I think people are looking for authenticity. Tell me the truth. What are you going to do? Stick by what you say, and tell me when you make a mistake and how you're going to fix it.
And Mr. Biden, look, in all your time on this planet, and certainly my time here, I've never seen America like this. Between the pandemic and the racial divide in this country, the political chasm that exists between the right and the left, there's no doubt black voters are essential to your election. You've issued a criminal justice plan, a new one that reverses some of your old get tough policies that were criticized in the 90s. I'm wondering, how has your thinking changed since then?
Well, it hadn't changed a whole lot, in the sense that I don't think we should be defunding police departments. I think we should hold police departments responsible. The vast majority of police officers are ethical, brave, and decent. The vast majority of them. And what we started to do in our administration, Obama-Biden administration, is to set national standards so that police would all subscribe to those national standards. There are certain standards that should be subscribed to, like ones your Attorney General in the state of Arizona has put out. And you can have police. We need police departments, but we also need basic fundamental rules. The moment's come for a wake-up call, a call to action to confront and racial injustice, and that's prevalent in this country for as long as we've all been around. And so I think part of it is not just to how we're going to deal with police conduct, but also how we're going to deal with the criminal justice system. I've been urging for the last 5 years, we have to turn the criminal justice system from one that's just pure punishment into rehabilitation. When people serve their time in prison, they should be able to get out and take advantage of what's available. Right now, if you get out of prison, you can't get a Pell Grant if you're ready to go to college or you're ready to go on. Does that make any sense to not have a prison population when they've served their time, they're able to get jobs, they're able to become different than they were before they went in? So my point is, there's a lot we've learned, but I think that it's important that we make sure that we have decency and honor in the way in which we conduct our politics and conduct policing. And that's what the vast majority of the police organizations that always supported me have thought. There are bad apples in every operation. They should be cut out.
Most would agree, Mr. Biden, that
Mark,
Russia is
time.
not
Thank
our
you so
friend,
much.
never has been and never will be. What about China? Friend or foe?
Serious competitor that we have to take firm action with. We cannot stand by and let them take advantage. We have to make it clear they have to play by the rules of the road. If they don't play by the rules of the road, the international rules, then we are not going to play with them. We are going to insist that it be done the right way. For example, when I was vice president, I remember President Xi saying to me, we're setting up air identification zones that no one can fly through in international airspace without our permission. I said, that doesn't matter. We're going to fly through them. We flew our bombers through them. I can just make sure we're not paying attention. You do not set the rules. They're international rules. And we got to hold them accountable for their misconduct and make sure that we speak out to the rest of the world. They have 1 million Uyghurs, Muslims, that they have in prison camps. Look what they're doing in Hong Kong. The way in which they're operating is completely contrary to international norms. And what have we done? This president remains silent. What have we done with Putin? Putin is clearly paying the Taliban to kill American soldiers. What are we doing? Our president won't even condemn it, and talks about including Putin back into the G8. I mean, we have to stand. Look, we've been able to lead the world not just by the example of our power, but the power of our example. And we step out. If this America first has put us America last. Did you ever think there'd be a situation where you'd have Russians, Chinese, and Iranians patrolling in the Persian Gulf and America being told to stay away? Come on. This is just, we just make it clear they're a competitor. You play by the rules or we're not going to play with you.